Hello, Kalshan. I had a bunch of new music today. When I was at work today, I kind of cleaned up my backlog. Found a lot of really nice ones. Anyways, hello. Still working on this. It will be for quite a while. But I actually, just before the stream started, I did get the audio in to show the actual length for what I'm going for. But just these scenes alone, if we go by time, are actually taking up about a fifth of it. So that's actually pretty neat. So that's why I think this will take a lot longer, or a lot less time than Australia probably. Except for I do need to turn it down because as right now it's max volume. Don't want it that loud. See what that is. Okay, that's better. Which also did brought up that I can actually test now certain aspects of the video with audio. For instance, I don't think I had time for this one yet. No, I didn't. This one, I believe I kinda did. See if I can find it. With how this part goes, I might actually have it go through the door a lot quicker. I know this is going to probably be like there's going to be a huge fade between this and a different shot. But it's going to be in that time. This part is going to be further in here. Let's try that. Now that I have this, I can actually time the beat, which is nice. I don't need to have it positioned perfectly here, it's just getting the beat. Yeah, this is going to take actually probably more time in terms of scene building, but I don't have to use it for 1 second. That's the benefit. It's going to be more atmospheric, but the end, because I want to have it be a build-up, so it's going to start a lot slower. Towards the end, I want to have it like when it cuts into the chorus. With that, I was going to have at least the transition into it be a little bit more action-oriented, but I wanted it to be more of like an emotional thing. It's not going to be as much action. It's going to be more of putting them in situations and use of camera and atmosphere. So the lack of action should make that part easier. Easier and harder. Action's nice because you can just kind of throw it together and not really care, but when you actually want to make something emotional, you have some nuances of like small movements in the eyebrow or something can cause a difference in how somebody would express their emotion. So you have to be a little more careful with it, but at least then you have you don't have to keyframe a shitload, I guess. Yeah, I do kind of want to figure out the timing for this. So this is going to be Okay, so that's approximately. This one I knew it did a little bit off. Okay, so I have to move all of the pistons. Is that what these are? Yeah, just not showing any movement really. How am I supposed to figure out where the motion is? Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's just hidden because I think I have rotation selected. Yeah, if I just select all the pistons position. Oh, this normal. Seems really quiet. Okay, so I should probably mark these in here. Oh, actually, I had done a different bookmark set. Okay, so I think this is when, or that's the normal speed I think I put them at. Oh, those are in the same spot. That's nice. So I have to get it to here. I'm trying to think if there's a cheap way to do that. Kinda. Yeah, there kind of is. So I need to get it to this mark. So that bookmark. So I need to just extend this so that that point gets to that point. Approximately. Okay, let's see how that goes. Yeah, I'm timing the pistons with the song. Because the way it sounded like it was metal hitting metal, and I thought in industry, or it kind of sounded industrial, so it made sense to have wartime technology. So, okay, that timed pretty good. Though I might swap it because I think I want to have it so that the pistons hit towards the back of the camera a lot, and every now and then cross the camera completely, because I want to use the pistons as a camera transition. So, like, and I mean, I could actually do these on the offbeats too. Well, I guess actually that won't work because it's dependent on the sound. I wonder if we're doing it a little earlier. Nope. If it's, since normally you could do offbeat, but since it's going with the sound of the metal, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's well timed, but then I can transition here. So is it this one? Okay, so for this one, and I was planning on maybe have the camera closer because I was looking for a higher camera blur potentially for it. And if that's the case, it would be taking more of the camera for each hit. But then I would want to have the camera actually get fully covered at this moment. So I'm going to take the entire conveyor. Oops, not move that way. So at the point that this hits, right here, I want to have it lifting just as it passes her head. not getting the conveyor to come with. Oh, that's the debris. Oh, I need the whole conveyor. Let's do this. So like that. Debris didn't really move with it, but that's fine. I can fix that later. But the reason I want to do that, well, actually, wait. Let me hear the sound again. Okay, yeah, that works. So, because then what I can do is have the, right as it starts lifting, have the camera swap. I'm just gonna move the whole camera for now. This camera. Oh, I thought it was locked to Applejack. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. So I'm on to grab pointy root, lock, playhead about halfway. That should just slow it. Okay. Now by locking that, I can oh, actually, that might work. Having it end there. I think I want to have it start further to her side, though. And move further in. If I did a camera tilt this direction, would be the way it would work, but I'd have to get a lot lower on her. Okay, and we're going to change our focal distance. This is just testing stuff, but I want to make sure everything as I'd want it to be would work. It's like sometimes you have an idea in your head. Oh, hello. Sometimes you have an idea in your head, but it's not gonna pan out. It's like your ideas for something that works are completely unrealistic. The aperture up a little bit there. Okay. Oh yeah, lighting doesn't work yet. So reason for that is then I can unlock. Yeah. Find out where the camera does that cross thing here. Okay, this is actually the one right here that I need to have that. So this is the one I need to move. So I need to move all that conveyor stuff again. Let's put it right there. Okay. So something like this. Well, with the other one actually with a continuous fade. Now think about it. So I actually might have to keep the camera further back. Well, no, I could just create an artificial model in front of it to transition, but I want to have it so that it transitions to that kind of a look. But it would be another piston in the way. But at least gives me my idea for what I want to do. Oh, I'm absolutely chilly in here. Okay, I need to get this metal more under the stuff. Debris. Oh, that's why only one moved. I have to do it by that. Which means that their time also did not get compressed. I'm not sure. Whatever. I'm not going to worry about that. It's minor stuff. So this is going to be... far... No, this just... I hate that it, like, right now they're named main camera. I can't... It doesn't correct it to do it in here. And I want to be able to look down there and actually see what its name is, so I know what camera I'm working with. So I go through here and fix that. Okay. Don't need this anymore. For the ideas that I had, I'm thinking that it's a little bright in the background. Well, because I was hoping for more, like a much darker atmosphere with this. Well, I think I was hoping for darker for her, but I think it's going to be in general darker. Well, actually, this doesn't need to follow. It's going to be brighter in the background, but darker across her head, her face area. Face area. I'm trying to get it to match what's in my head a little bit, which is impossible, but I'll give it a shot. don't want to really play with radius much more than half. It just gets the light for rim lights just gets so unrealistic unless you're in this mode. So I don't actually want me around there. I'm gonna have it be like that, but I'm trying to think if it's gonna be blue or... Actually, I'm gonna just use one of these. Blue or yellow. I'm thinking it's be yellow, but I kind of thinking more blue. Oh, that's why. I was like, why is it not showing that blue? I don't want to have too many shadow lights with this. I'm trying to think of a way to do this without doing that. So radius is going to give me the better spread, but it's going to go underneath this. Well, having a shadow on will prevent that, but it's going to get rid of, or I'm going to just spend way too much on shadowed lights. Well, I guess I could cheat it kind of. I go and turn it to be about vertical. So that's about vertical. Kind of create like false shadows, I guess. There, that actually looks pretty good. Okay, so this is going to be blue ambient. This is going to be spotlight. Call this spread 1. Let's see, spotlight. Over there. Center 1. Okay, so I can do a total of 6 of these as I'm doing them. Nice thing is I can kind of cheat a little bit further back. And if I really wanted to play with this, I could technically take the light texture as it is and try to map out. Oh, hi, Ardell. Where those storage units are, and remove that part of the texture from the flashlight type, and to create an artificial, so it's not hitting up here. It's actually like literally being blocked. But that involves like math and thinking, and I usually don't like doing that. Okay, am I actually going to see back there? Yes, but is shadows going to matter back there? Probably not. I'm going to go with it as it is right now, though. Because I'm going to be at 6. No, this will only be at 3, actually. That one doesn't look as good as the other one here. Ah, it's because of the angle. Might be able to make that work. So I just need it to spread more. That sounds complicated. I don't know what this one. Okay. So now I can drop the height quite a bit, increase the edge. Does that help? No. Even at its max. I might just go with it though, because it's only going to be a minor thing in the background. So I can do up to 5. I can't do anything more than that, because if for my 6th, I want to have it in the front here. Potentially. I really originally was planning on it being fairly dark. Like even this might be more lit than I'm planning on, but this is one that I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to pull what's in my head out. So I'm just might go with what works. And actually, I wonder if having this skip one. Can always pull in bits on those. think I'm okay with that. I might just bring down the width more. But I don't even know if it's going to matter. Okay, that blue ambient, I'm actually going to point it this way and make it brighter. Maybe put a little bit of purple in it. Oh, actually, I do need to make it lighter, or not as dark. That'll work. I think I know it'll work. I need to add a blue ambient, but I need to have something that makes sense for that. Might work. I'm trying to give that false lighting that you get from night. Now, let's see if I can shine a little bit of blue on Applejack and it works. She's actually not a really good color for making blue work, though. I have to go a pretty harsh blue to get it to show. But that's almost fine for what I was kind of hoping for. Yes, you can ask any question you want. It's the point of the stream, so don't worry about it. What is up? Wow, I got way over there. I think I need more from the front here. I tend not to do like critiques and stuff like that though, especially since during a stream I don't know what it's going to pop up with, so I tend not to click any links. It depends. Are you working more with night shots or day shots? Close theater, so you're, well, that'd be night shot because you're looking at darkness. Because normally in the dark, unless you're trying to make it atmospheric in the terms of spooky, you still have to have light to show certain things. And the best way to do that is blue. That's kind of what I'm doing here, is I'm utilizing blue to kind of show a little bit of the dark without having to just make it completely dark. Usually your eyes kind of, or your brain portrays blues with dark. And usually you also want to have a lot of sharp lights, like because you don't want a model to like kind of blend into the background. So if I'm kind of going off what you're working with, for instance, if I had a light, that is not showing. Come on, there you go. For instance, if I had a shot that I was lighting him like this, the one problem with it is, well, for one, there's no shadow. You want to have at least some kind of a nice shadow cast here. Is that you can't. You usually want to have. Usually 3-point lighting is you want to do full lighting, but you want to have something that's kind of creating both your edges. One light that's kind of giving you the implication of the direction the main light's coming from, and then something to fill it in. So like here, I would say, well, I want to this. I'm just going to use this as my main lights. This is going to be the light that's going to show you the direction it's coming from, and the reason you know that is because more light is on one side than the other. But I'm going to dim that down a little bit. We're going to put it to there. Then I want something to just kind of brighten the edge here, because I want to have a nice bright edge instead of this just even light. So I'm going to move it over further this way so that it's further around the other way. If I brighten it, you can see I'm just hitting the edge a lot more now. But I don't want it to ruin my shadows here. So I'm going to zoom it on just him. Alright, so you can see without it, with. Give me these nice edges. Actually, I might brighten up the edges a little bit with this type of light. Because it looks kind of like a spotlight. And let's see if I can get rid of... Get rid of it completely. I'm just gonna fix it using Uber Light so that it doesn't cast further than him. You don't have to worry about this stuff. I'm just nitpicky about this. Okay. So that's creating that nice little edge lighting, but now it feels like he's kind of blending into the left side. So I want to put another light that's going to pull out that other edge. So I'm just going to go over here. A little bit more. Okay, they pulls out the edge, but now it's kind of giving a confusion as to where the direction the light's coming from. So I'm just going to dim it. Just enough so you can see it. I need to get a little more of that leg in there. There we go. But then I want, so I have the both edges in the main light source. Now I just want to create one nice simple one, just to shoot at his face. Probably go from higher up. It's gonna be really dim, just enough to pop the details out, but not enough to destroy the other light sources. Oh, this thing's in the way. There it goes. Something like that. So yeah, the IGO trick is the cut on and cut off, inversing them on an Uber light with it, and then turning off shadow. This guy doesn't have any of the eyes to light up, so at least I don't think so. Oh, there's still black voids, so I'm thinking go. Anyway, so when I do night lighting, that's about how I'll always do it. Is so you're gonna have two lights that are gonna cover the edges. One that's going to give the implication of lighting direction, because you don't want to at night give a if you have lighting coming from somewhere, you want to make sure people know what direction it's coming from. So that's why I got it like this. The shadow implies that, and that brighter edge, and then you need something to fill in the gaps, because leaving it without the details, just dark like this, looks intimidating, but it also just creates confusion and hard to pay attention. This is what works. So, yeah, but there's no like cookie cutter method to lighting. It's always going to be based on the situation, the camera angle. There's a lot of things that could become an issue with trying to set up your lights. So you're always going to have to modify everything you're doing to your situation. So the best teacher on it is just going to be putz with it. One great way to do it is to just find a picture out there and try to replicate how it lit things, if one that you think looks nice, because you'll find out the tricks by trying to replicate something, as to what works and what doesn't, and the more often you do it, the better you'll get at it. Lighting is really complicated. It's probably harder for you because you have to think. You can't look at that camera angle. At least I can put it there and I can get that angle, but drawing is even harder. I don't know how you can do it without being able to actually see the angle, but it's just kind of a nice picture on its own. Just go and put the focal distance. Like that. Blur is kind of cool. It's kind of neat. Kind of has like a tilt shift look to it. You might need to animate the lighting for a shot. You don't always have to do it. It depends on if there's motion. Normally, if it's somebody who's just sitting still, or even is moving where they're sitting, you don't have to adjust it much. But you're not able to get the detail that you could on somebody that's sitting still, where you're able to like shine specific lights to hit just right. 360 shots are stupidly complicated to do because you can't do this lighting like this. If I were to do it with that, I go and move over, or 360 shot and spinning, and the things you're setting up to give those super nice bright rim lights are now destroyed by when you actually turn it, because now it's overly bright. I hate doing 360 degree shots, or even shots that move much more 90. But yeah, I don't think that I don't have to look at references when animating. I go and look up other things that have moved like that, or like horses doing it, or I've gotten up and tried to position myself in such a way to make it so that I can figure out, like, well, if I went to do this, what are the nuances of the movement? It's not like you could just pull it out of your brain and hope you get it right. No. Yeah, art is guessing. It's a lot of guessing. I want to see if I'm gonna bump this way up, like 250. It's probably gonna be too much. It's neat, but probably too much. actually make a pretty neat picture from that. I always love pictures like that that are like the super narrow depth of field. And SFM's weird with depth of field too, because if you look at the focal distance right now, it's this face and the gun, so like just the front of him that's in focus. But if I actually go look at the focal plane, it is currently so this is the line that's in focus, but it's actually showing right here. It's not accurate. I normally, if I have aperture up above half, I usually try to keep the focal point past the model for that reason. It does kind of look neat for what it is. The only thing I don't like about it is it's just base pose. It's just T-pose. You can probably pause them a little bit. I need actors though. No, I don't need actors.
Is not a farewell, just a goodbye.
I'm not even looking to put like a lot of detail into it. I have a thing against T-poses. Like even if something looks good, do something with it. Move it just a little bit. I don't know if it'll look good with his leg forward. Actually, might be look good for doing a full spread to the back. This model is pretty well made. Like, I could pretty much just fucking bend it any way I want to here and actually still make it work some way or another. do I have that little footlock? Guess not. These are pretty close on this though, but I can always stretch them like that. Pick on the ground. I'm pretty sure armor is not meant to bend like this, but I don't care. So that's left leg. I'll unlock that one. And chest 2 and right thigh. Not much to that knee. So most of it is left leg too, but that's not going to do too much. Is that the peg? No, the peg is on that one. Okay. That's the little peg right there. I want to make sure that that's churned correctly. Okay. Actually, that's done too much. Keep it as it was. I don't think you can see it from that angle. No. No, just let it back in a bit more. Oh, the cover. Oh, that's cool. I don't know how to cover. Textures are a little bad on that though. Still, it makes it so when you shoot it, you can have it like bop. lost his face detail when I did that. Kind of like him just looking off to the side. Too complicated. I can understand that. I do it all the time. Get the nose out of focus range. Where's the nose? Just a little bit. Because the face is the one that I have to make sure stays at the focus. Which means I need to move the head back a little bit. Hello. Trying to figure where that focal point is for the nose. Right there. Actually, if I just drop the aperture a teeny bit, I can get more out of it. Yeah, because the legs and stuff I moved further back, that's why he's having more problems. Like this angle, because if I get a neat angle, it's just, oh, that's actually not that bad. was going to put bullet cartridges, but he doesn't actually have bullets. So that would make no sense. Another idea. Just add some rubble on the ground. Oh, this is going to crash if I do. Do I organize the list of bones? I organize the models in terms of the actual bones. That's done separately. And that is done in this file. And I have a custom version of the file. So, yes, I do organize it. So any of the ones that have the comments means that are ones that I'm manually added. So there's quite a few. This right here, mouth stuff. I've been meaning to make that a public file, but I keep putting it off. There's some pretty decent debris. Still loading? Yes. Do I still have it saved? Yay! Pega horse. The best horse I've ever drawn. I think this is when I started, but I never actually finished and put out. I only started it. Well, that was the one I started 3 years ago. And I thought I started a different one. I started a lot of stuff and never finished it. Yeah, it crashed. I've been meaning to put it out. It just take a while. Yeah, it's because or getting. What did I open? Oh, I opened SFM. Okay. I was like, that doesn't look like SFM. It look like something on full screen. Getting your models organized the way that you prefer is actually super useful. I've been addicted to keeping things organized, like not just models, but even the bones. Anytime I get a new model, I almost immediately try to find a way to, or not find a way, but like I go and add it into the list of stuff so that I can have it nice and organized and have everything in their nice little groups. One of the things I did for mine was I separated these parts. Before it would be pony legs, and always be listed under pony. I separated those, namely so that I can deselect that grouping. Well, before, if I wanted to deselect those bones, I also had to disable legs, and then there was times where I wanted both. So like here I haven't actually went in and had added him to them yet, but if you so wanted to add it, this file is under your user mod main folder, not main folder, let's talk about CFG. There's SFM _ default animation groups. Do know that any changes you do to it, if you ever at one point download something that overrides it, it will completely erase all your changes. That's why I have some duplicates. Otherwise, like, so for him, if I want to add it, I have a special group I added here, called like props. So I'm going to go down here, see pony legs, pony wings, breezies, pony body, jiggle bones. Might actually be towards the top. I think it's towards the top. This is all based off of a modification somebody made before Zero Team. Buff hands, fingers, arms, body. Where did it go when I do that? I swear it was up here. Props, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to add these. So I'm going to say it doesn't really matter because these aren't going to match up with anything else. So I'm just going to... Notepad++ has the ability to duplicate a row with Control D. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to call this, that is steel hooves. And I'm going to say it left gun. Duplicate again. Left gun. Cover. Okay. Right gun. And gun barrel. Okay, so after I save that, all it takes is either when loading in the model again or doing something with the model, we'll reload it. But in this case, if you want to force it without having to do that, you just go right click, go to utilities and rebuild control groups. And voila, now they're in props. In this case, it ended up just looking like a renamed unknown to props, but it's just to keep it organized so you're not going, well, where is it again? It just makes it nice and easy. It's just under props. I was gonna add rubble. And you can like change the colors of the groups. Props is just right now base blue because that's the color it always starts with. But if you go and put this at the beginning, group color, you can change this RGB and alpha values. Hair stray I have is these are extra hair bits. And they're, I think, orange. Yeah, it's red. Lots of red, somewhat green, low blue. That sounds like orange. Because of all the detail on the ground here, from the bump maps, I want to make sure that whatever I add in is also fairly detailed. Mega Pack is going to be the great way to do it. Let's see what this looks like. I think the other ground is actually more detailed. Oh, this has the alpha broken too. So no on that. Oh, these might work out well. Show these. Just throw shit all over them. Well, I like distractions. So don't worry about like diverting me from what I'm doing. When things are gonna take months and months and months to do, if you're gonna say you're distracting me from finishing it, no, don't worry about that. I need a break every now and then. So it's actually kind of nice to just sit back and do something different. probably in the next couple weeks, I'm gonna divert off and do like I did before and just make a really short video again. I think I have the audio figured out. I just want to see if there's throwing crap everywhere would technically make it better or make it too busy. Yeah, the secret of putting magic. Yeah, I have the audio that I want to use for another one. This is from Pinky in the Brain. I was going to use the princesses to do something with it. I'm not sure yet.
He can no doubt be pressured by a subtle threat. In refusing our loan, you could harm delicate negotiations between Brainania and the U.S.
Oh, right. We're going to invade your land, go boom, 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 and make you our pathetic slaves.
Invade?
I did hear that. It sounded like something that would work for like Celestia or something. So I recorded it. We're gonna go boom, boom, boom. I was thinking about putting some kind of light in it, but I'm thinking that it's better without it. One thing I could think of to maybe add is if I wanted to add a pre-made explosion. I'm not going to touch any of the original lighting as it is because this would be changing it quite a bit, but I think it took away my Gary's bombs recently. Yeah, I think so, because I had like nuke and stuff on there. Gears bombs were nice, but they were just huge. But they were definitely the best looking particles you could get. Okay, that's I believe from. I think this is actually the one I used for the rocket and the button video. Any quotes? Well, normally the quotes are what come first, and then I make the video out of the quote. For the Twilight Tyrek one, the quote from the show came, or originally all it was an idea that I came up with for Anthology 5, and that was it 5 or 6 the recent one? I can't remember. Well, for not the last one, but the one before that. And I didn't have the resources available. Tyrek was never finished at that time, so I just threw the idea to the side. And then, like, when the next anthology came out, that's what I decided to actually put more time into it. And the Tyrek model was finished. But the audio that I came up, or I just had the idea built from, was the audio from Kung Pao of Guaranteed They're Over Myther. And then I just made a video around it to make it work. And so the Tyrek audio was just pulled in because I needed something for it. The audio at the very end with the Demo Man was added last minute. I didn't even know what to put in the end until the very last minute. So normally the audio for almost anything I do is what I think of first. I might pull some more audio in later, but usually not that much. The skin from Pip was actually a custom thing. That's also something I need to make public eventually. The only problem I have with making some of this stuff public is I usually put out there's a tool for people to modify and make their own versions of, but normally it ends up being that people just use the same one over and over again, and it makes it so then it's no different than having the same models used over and over again. It becomes stale. No, so I have this. I originally added with some text on there, explaining how to use it, and I've saved a couple times over it, so I have to go back and clean this up. But so these all layers below this you can essentially ignore, because this one and all of these were added later, and that one. So all these were on there, are the only ones on here. So you have hide me, that's just the text. Otherwise, you have two sets of dirt. So you have this one, which I use for Pip, and this one I use for Blackjack for Here's a Rise. And then you just drop your body texture into this folder and then pick your dirt set that you want. You could put on both, but not recommended. And then if you want, you can see the mask and where things are positioned. So the body is the mouth, the head with the eyes, ears, mouth, bottoms of feet. You can see that's where the bottoms of feet are, so that's where these dirt I centered around it towards the bottom of the legs and on the bottoms of the feet, because you would think that somebody trudging through the dirt would have more on their feet than anything else and less on their butts. So I use this a lot if I need to make stuff a dirty pwn. I just go and drop them in here and dirt. And I think no, it doesn't explain on here how to do the bump maps for it, but I do have like bump maps that were added in so that like these cuts look like they're actually cut into the skin and stuff. So yeah, I have been meaning to make them public. Just normally, when I'm not on here, I'm not really motivated to do much else, so I tend not to. I'm looking for like a napalm. Napalm tends to have fire, and fire's what I want. Because like these ones are these like teeny little explosions. Yeah, because look at that. It's nothing. Gary's bombs used to be the bomb, but now, stupid. Did they ever bring them back? Because they used to be on here, then they disappeared. They were taken off, and I accidentally one day clicked to have them uninstalled. I should have made a copy of it instead of being lazy. Yeah, I'll see it. Look at that. That's not fire. I need explosions. I need kabooms. Probably not gonna find any good ones though. Nah. I might just have to leave it as is, and I broke his eye. Kind of neat leaving it with like that. So I don't know if the rubble should be kept or not. I think it works with him. Alfred E content. Normally, it's normally Gary's bombs was nice because the Gary's bombs were almost made for still shots. But the ones from like Left 4 Dead, they're really quick explosions. Most of those aren't. I mean, I'll get a shot though, because I could just be talking on my ass too. So, oops. Just most games don't have pretty looking explosions. They have ones that are meant to be quick. They're quick and efficient. Blow up. Oh, it doesn't look that good. Yeah, like that one doesn't look that great. That's Left 4 Dead 1. No, that is Left 4 Dead 2. What's this one? Not bad, but still. Ooh, that actually could create a cool effect. I'm gonna grab that one. Fluid Explosion Main. Okay, is this multiple pieces? Yes, which means resizing is going to be near impossible. But I might be able to up the count drastically. Unless these all follow each other. Okay, that's probably just shooting out the debris. Okay, it's not affecting the size at all, so that's probably just a little crap. So what I probably want to get is fluid hit flaming chunks. Okay, so that looks like something important. Emit noise. Okay, that's emitting the fire. That's fine. Burning smoke. Okay, that's again an individual thing following each piece. Okay, that's the little crap flying around. So I think this does have something to do with it. Figuring out how these are working is always interesting. Well, if I disable it, it still works, right? It doesn't work at all. Well, that's the movement. Okay, I gotta keep that. Well, maybe it's the continuous. You know what? I know what to do. If you're not sure how to make more of them, just copy paste. So if I want to make sure they're random, I gotta change up how they're doing. So I have, or acting. If I don't change that number, it's just gonna be the exact same particle. Yes, I thought that blur is gonna mess with it though. Well, it looks cool. To get that blur I want, it's just gonna destroy anything else I add in there. Yeah, I'm gonna go without it. I think I might just keep it simple. How can I modify your magic cloud best so I get a fluffy... My magic cloud? Oh, you mean the aura, like you can add to things? So I get a solid fluffy cloud? Well, that's, if you're talking about the magic one, that's not made for that. You'd have to change the texture to something with softer edges. But if you're talking about some other magic or some other particle, I don't know, because I don't remember one doing that. I'm actually going to render this picture out, because I think it's a pretty neat picture. Simple. The reason I had my brain shut down for a minute is to what 4K was. Reason like certain things like my screen goes black or pulls up a previous thing and I can't see it, but the streamer can, so I can just work from that. Okay, I'm not gonna let it sit there and try to render it at a high quality unless I'm actually doing it. I'm doing it as an image sequence because otherwise the edges don't usually pop up right. With the edges, the rim lighting, that glow that it gives, if you render out as a poster, it usually gets rid of that. I don't know why, but it's stupid. Okay, stream might lag a little bit while I was doing this. Maybe, because I can see if it does, I think. Might take a... See, now it's focused on his butt. I want it on his butt. I want it on his face. I wonder if 4K changed that. I'll check. Yeah, it did. That's weird. Does the actual resolution change where that is? If it does, that's actually good to know. I never actually pussed with that. Do I have to actually be accurate now? No, it's just different. There it goes. I might need to play with that. Because normally I upscale my renders at from 720 to 2160 late at later. I never really checked that, but I thought there was something up. Yeah. Oh, if the ad is still working, this is going. I probably be putting out the notice regarding the stream for next Saturday. Probably doing that Sunday. I didn't want to put it out before this Saturday because I didn't want there can be confusion as to it being this Saturday. Okay. modules. So there's really, I don't even know if there's anything I have to do with this model. In terms of cleanup. Actually, I wonder if this is one that I can make use of certain adjustment. So it's this one. Yeah, probably not. I've had HDR toning give some badass results, but well, that's neat. So glowy. Best way to figure out what sliders are doing is throw them around. Anyways, so I think I'm gonna want to try. I can't actually do it on there. This is how I'm used to controlling things, so. Okay, so shadows I want to make sure stays down. Actually, did that still have... Oh, when I moved that, I lost one of my lights. This one. Because without that, it's not really lit well over here. A little bit better lighting on the nose. I don't know if it's going to matter too much. I might just stick with this. Levels is pretty good too. I don't even know if I need that though. Really. It actually is matching the darkness pretty good. I think I might just drop it a little bit. That's kind of what I was looking for. Give it that, accentuate kind of that rust feel. I don't think bringing up his colors is gonna... Well, actually, well, that's kind of cool. Pure steel hooves. Actually, bringing up the rust color is actually not that bad. Sometimes, actually, if you max, or not max, but like increase the vibrance but decrease the saturation, you can get kind of a neat look. Show the other way. No, I don't like it the other way. We'll go for like a -10 here and a +30. Actually hard to tell the difference. It's like they offset each other. If that's the case, then I don't even want it. I think I might just leave it as it is. Yeah, that's kind of what I was wanting. Really get that. I wanted that really hard glow. There we go. I'll save as. I always make this mistake. Save it as. The raw first. Save that. Normally I scale these down, but now that I'm actually running a higher resolution monitor, I can actually just keep it. I might go with my stills. It's got the booms here, and it's got the booms here. See, this seems a little bright, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. I wonder if I can just do a really cheap darkening though. Nah, nothing works with it. Let's keep it as it was. I think I'm just going to call it steel hooves too, because it's kind of, this is a pretty plain picture. I want to make sure. 1 second here. Okay, good. So it's like monitors are more like other monitors more realistic to normal people, and this one is my setup. So I want to make sure that it matched, or at least that it still looked pretty good on both sides. Hello. Okay, well, let's go still. That's one word, yes. Let's go source maker 3D MLP Pony Suppose we Fallout let's go with that. See the movies. And it's been a long winter. It's weird when you say it that way. I wasn't gonna name this one anything weird. There it is. Got a linked model. But that picture alone is pretty badass. That was a pretty badass picture. Oh, yeah, make sure. Click it to get rid of the SFM ponies link. Okay. And then we put everything back on. And he's just back there. Damn it, still host. We're trying to make a video here. Even if I mute it, it doesn't matter. I don't know what the point of muting a clip is if it still loads everything. Still not really liking the lighting on her. I feel like I wanted, I think, more sharp lighting. Let me see here. think essentially what this is, but just harsher. What I should do is exit and reopen in 720 so that it doesn't take forever. Yeah, this is the song I was going to be using for it. To get it in here, because I couldn't download it from YouTube other ways, as I had to, before the stream started, just record the playing of the video. Worked. I think I might put some more conveyor belts in here. Problem with conveyor belts is that anywhere you place them, they're going to be either straight across, which would then run the length of what she's doing, or straight back, which would also look weird. Actually, this could work if I place it like here. Let's see. I think I might have an idea that it works the way I want it to. Off about this. That's right. It looked like it was clipping. No, it's not. It just looked like it was. That's weird. Okay. So that gives me more conveyor belts. What if shaders are lower? I'm not sure. Usually the high resolution should just make things better, but I mean, obviously, like having the difference with the focal distance now implies that there's things I didn't quite know. Because like now, if I go to that steel hose picture, now it's out of focus again, which so the resolution actually made a difference in that, which is disconcerting just a little bit. Obviously, I'm not normally having the focal length at that kind of an extreme, but if I do, it means that I actually have to pay attention because I almost render everything out in 4K. How? I turned you all 180. Oh. Maybe not. Yeah, that's looking better. Oh, well, I know, you can increase the amount of, where you can always play with these to increase your, passes, but if you're looking at, you can increase the quality of your shadows, I know, it was, what's that? Why am I missing it? Oh, here we go. So default's 2048 for shadow map, but you can increase it to 4 times its normal value. Well, actually, this would be 4 times the normal value. This would be 16 times. But shadows are very intensive, so if you up the shadow preset, you're going to have a hard time for processing. So I would probably only do that for like final render stuff, if you're ever going to do that. But that's one thing you can do. There's a bunch of launch options, but most of this stuff you don't need to worry about. The only ones I ever recommend you put in there, and if you look at mine, are already here. I always have the set resolution on there, even though it defaults to 720, because then I don't have to retype it when I want to change it. So I can just change 720 to 2160. Well, I don't think you can go up to 4320. I don't know if you can go that high. What am I talking about? 4096. So, but never tried it, never really cared to. The only other one I use is No P4, and that turns off Perforce, which is a preload thing for particles, but as far as I can tell, it just slows things down, and it makes loading the particle editor take like 10 times longer. So this makes it so that it disables that. I've never seen a difference in my quality of stuff from it. So, yeah. Anyway, so you can putz with these if you want. I just don't see a need for most of them. Like disable autosave. It could be useful, but it also is scary. But when you have a really, really, really big file, that can actually help quite a bit. Having it autosave like 100 and something megabytes every 10 minutes could actually slow you down quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to move this rack. to do a easy 180, I'm just using the lines on the circle here, so you can see that red line right now, but if I move it to where it disappears exactly, which you hear, it's pretty much about as horizontal as I'm going to get. Then I just spin it until it disappears again. Drop the brightness on the floor. Perfect. I gotta grab, I think these two? Nope, that's front. Yep. These ones. Move them forward. Okay, and then I'm going to slow this one down in the back again. Because I don't want it following at the same speed. Okay. What do I want to have at the end here? I wonder if I could actually put some detail into some of the stuff that goes on here. So for one, I don't think I want to have the same debris on this one. Would you think that Applejack's facility would have like full mechanization? I don't know on that. I'll use this one. Just trying to see if I could get the quality down here, but I'll use it anyway. Now let me do that while it. Quite sure why it won't though. I want it to a leg. Because it's required children to the pelvis? I'm thinking so, but I swear I've done that before. Yeah, I don't think I can do it to ones from the parrot. I swear I've done that before though. Whatever. Yeah, I know I've done it before. Good ain't. Okay, it's adorable. No, stilos. Yeah, it's the horse. It's adorable. Still have some upsies. Put it back there. What's up, please? Upsize. Upsize. Fitness routine, animator, designer, voice actor. How would you organize them? And by the way, I need one of these mini studios in my car. Oh, he's so adorable. Even like this, he's like, he wants a treat. If I had a whole team, how would I organize them? It's hard because it would depend on the skills of individual people, but designer, I'm not sure what you mean by designer, unless you're meaning like a 3D modeler of sorts. But to me, you would probably need more than that. If you're, it also depends on the scale of the project that you're doing. The one thing I'd make sure to do is before you start, everybody knows the roles they're doing. Everybody knows the that everything is down on paper and planned, and in that the work was spaced in such a way that and would be segmented in such a way that you could pass off groups of work instead of having to do it like, okay, this entire thing for the entire video is done, move it on, to have it go in like small segments that are pre-created, and that could move from one team to another to keep everybody busy and prevent them from getting overwhelmed. Yeah, he does have lots of rest. Okay, so now we can get him back to normal here. Don't actually need any of this stuff. Oops. Still need a size though. Well, the problem is 3D printing is going to get rid of a lot of the details that make him work. Okay, I can't go to actual 0 with this. 0.01. Let's go 0.0025. paste right. Didn't think so. So the route was locked to the conveyor belt. But that doesn't need to be. There we go. So that's all I have to do. Guess I can't make all these invisible right away. Well, our Brody Crown room is full, so we can't help him. Army charging in. Okay, but if we wanted to say that they're like, I'm thinking about like, should there be some kind of automation like mechanical arms, because I'm pretty sure there is. Let me wait for this to load. What would that be called? I mean, I know that there's a lot of them in Portal, and I'm thinking that's going to be the final result. I can almost, actually, I can guarantee it. What are you? So that might actually work. Supervisor arms. Actually, that's the only one that's called that. What else would those be called? Some of these are cool to look at, like how they do certain things. The animation for this. Oh, this bouncy trash. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try this one. Okay, what's the main bone on this? That one. So what do we got here? Bendy arm, bendy arm. Some kind of device. And then this is for spinning, I'm guessing. Oh, so if I move these two together. I'm going to scale the model and then lock it to another model, for instance a hand, and then move the hand. A model that's locked to another model, it becomes, because when you scale something, say you scale something up 50%, think of it as if a model is always locked to the world, always. When you lock it, you're just changing its lock from the world to another object. So when it's locked to the world or unlocked, and it's at 100% size, it's 100% size related to its locked parent. In that case, the world. So that is it's just default 100%. When you lock it to something else, that becomes its new 100%. So if that model had been scaled up 30%. It's now looking at its parent as being scaled up 30%, and so it will also be scaled up 30% plus its other scale. The only way to not do that is to have it locked to something other than the parent. That's why, like here, I have the head locked to the root, and so that the root is before or the parent of the pelvis, so I could scale the pelvis to whatever I want because the helmet's locked to the root, which is a different it's looking at a different scale. If I kept it locked to the pelvis and I scaled the pelvis to 10%, the head would go to 10% too. But if I scaled the head 10%, it would become 1% because it's using the pelvis scaling as its base, its new baseline, its new default. So if you go and have something that has scaling attached to it, or if you go and attach something to another model that has scaling attached to either it or if it's one of its parents, it will scale it to match that. So it's one of the reasons that if you look at, as an example, we'll do pinky. Okay, So with the Pinkie Pies. So jiggle bones are essentially, because they're not actually on the bones right now as it is, they are treated as if they're locked to the world. So that was why it makes it so if I go and scale the root and make Pinkie Pie really small, how she gets super long hair, because the hair, because it's live and it's locked to the world in a way. So when I scale the model, it doesn't get those locks. It's locked to something else. But if I go and it's pretty fancy. Oh, bouncy. If I go and enable procedural bones, so now the jiggle bones are active. Now they're parented to the model itself. So if I scale the model, it doesn't do that anymore. It stays with the model because now its parent is scaling it with it. But if I go and up the size of the hair to really big, it's not going to stay just that size. It's going to scale with this parent. It's just going to maintain this ratio. Or compensate it. Like if I had a bone that was, and I've had to do this before, that was locking to another, and it's the parent scale was up, say 10%, or let's say it doubled it, and you locked it to it, and you didn't want it to double as well. You needed it to be its original size. Just half it. So just add its own scale, because it will, like say for instance, trying to think of a good example or a way to show it. Because it's really hard unless you have two models that would actually show the scaling correctly. I guess I can just grab anything and do it. No, that would even work too. Yeah, it's hard because it's trying to find two things that would actually make sense. It's just that just think of it as that the scaling that you're adding to a model is going to use its parent as its base, as its 100%. So even if it's at 200%, that model that's attached to it is seeing it as at 100%. So it's new 100%. It's kind of weird, but it's just going to be putzing with it. But you can just compensate where once it's locked, just make the scale on that new locked model, scale it to where it would match again. Though as soon as you unlock it again, it's going to blow up. I've had issues where actually, let me get Pinkie back here. When I was working on Pip for the follow video I did before, Pip is smaller, and because those jiggles have that weird scaling thing, but I wanted to keep it automated. Usually they look fine and act fine if you stay about 10% bigger or smaller. So to make Pip smaller than the other ponies, I went into her size, and I decreased her size by 10%, but I increased the other one's in size by 10%. So it made like approximately a 20% difference, but it made it so the jiggles would work fine. But that actually would make the jiggles slightly bigger. But at 10%, you really can't tell that they're slightly bigger than they were before. But that did cause an issue if I ever went to go lock her legs, because I wanted to do it animating. It would do this. She'd get like slightly bigger feet. It's a little bit more pronounced if I were to say grab the scale and bring it down to here. If I were to lock something so that I could animate it and not have something move, I'd have to animate it based on that motion, or based on this. And that made it difficult to do, but what are you gonna do? Oh. Let's actually bring her size down again. We'll lock this point. can't do that because they're locked. Huge hands. Looks like we got the like the inflatable hoof for We Are Number One. Okay, so this arm is going to be interesting to do because these objects are moving. So I'm going to just pick a point, and I'm going to say that this is probably going to want to start early. So I'm going to say right, say from here, and then when is the point that they are there again? It's about equivalent. Because of that, I want to try to place the robot in the middle between the two. Actually, I probably want to have it spun around too. Okay. Oh, that middle ground actually should be when this one gets to this point. Because that would be... Nope, no, that was right. One full cycle. Okay. Hello. I'm only going to be streaming for a little bit longer here too. That would work. Yep, it will. Okay, so at this point, I want to have Mr. Robot. Actually, I'm just going to grab the whole thing right now because that's the easiest way to do it. Alright, we'll have Mr. Robot be... Okay, how does it turn? Oh, I think I see. So this thing's supposed to be on a belt, but I can turn here, so that's why it's fine. Because I bent that one, I can just do it. Oh, I have to do it from here. There we go. Okay, that's weird. Makes sense though. Okay. Let's say that this is from here to here. So I need to keep it in that position from this in this position. Just gonna be turning this. This will go further, extend this a little further, and this would bend. Okay, and then it would go, I'll just pick another point, so like say here. We'll say this one will curve it a little bit here. Extend it a bit further. We're going to say it's going to go to this point. Here. And how long did this last? Actually, I should have blended this. I can make it do it now though. Okay, so from this point, let's make sure that I might need to extend this a little bit because that might be a little too quick. Oh no, I can't actually, because this is very much built I can extend this part though. Okay. And then I'll have that go for a certain amount of time. Have it turn to keep up. So this one doesn't need to be as exact. So from here to here, I'll just say this one's a little bit longer because I have to get back into the reset position. Okay. And so then at the beginning here, I have to get back to that position. So no, not just that one, the whole arm. Okay, so that creates a little cycle. And technically a repeat. Okay. But from here to here, this in between, it technically can't travel through the helmet. It doesn't work that way. So it needs to actually go further out. I'm making a assembly line for stuff. I'm just trying to figure out the nuances of the motion to make it so that they're not clipping through stuff like that. Did a bad rotation around here somewhere. I'll just leave it. It's fine. Oh, this one, I think. It's off kilter a little bit. Okay, so the early part of this needs to pull it further along this side. And probably keep it a little lower. A little bit. Nope, still wanting a clip. I'll probably fix that here though. Okay. So for this one, it's really just going to be a pullback. Okay. See how that looks. Okay. Because the other helmet's not in the exact same position. Actually, I think... This is basic. Yeah, like a little more. Okay. Now these are based on exact periods of time, so I can take these helmets and I could copy to create another one. I don't actually need to lock it to the belt. This is going to be body. Okay. It's moving the exact same speed. I wanted to just be there earlier, so I'm going to grab it and just move it like this. It should be exactly what I need it to be now. I got the robot from Portal 2. But so now I can just add a couple little sparks and I got myself some good ambience. Okay. And then put that back. And then we got it's getting there. Lighting's good indeed. It's completely redone after all that change, but I probably will add, I want to have probably like 3 arms per belt. I want to have a lot of stuff there going in the background, make it look like it's busy. And actually doing the arm is kind of fun. That's very different. And it's not perfect. I can definitely still see it's clipping, like right there. Going through the head a little bit, but I don't care about getting it pretty close. So, but I want to get different setups for the things. I probably want, or I potentially want to have an arm that's coming in actually grabbing them at the end. So, but the more I put in there, the cooler it looks, because I want to have all these sequences be like super busy. I want them to actually look and filled and realistic. So. I know, I love that song too. That's why I'm using it. So, got the whole song in here. But, and I got the scenes about, I'd say half done. That one's gonna need some work to figure out the reflection bit. That one's pretty much done. That one, oh yeah, I fixed the ground. That one does need some work still though. And then that one, I gotta get rid of the with watchtowers and bridge, but it's getting there too, so whatever. Anyways, that's it. It's past 9. Stream done. I will be streaming next Tuesday. Yeah, I'm streaming next Tuesday. But next Friday, I'm not streaming Friday, I'm streaming Saturday. I'll probably put out a thing on Sunday on YouTube that does a call out saying that there'll be a stream on next Saturday. I just want to wait until after this Saturday so there's no confusion. So, because it's going to be technically 4 years of streaming. I've been doing this way too long. So, alright. Have a good weekend. Behave. You don't have to. Have a meow and meow. Okay. Good night. Good night.